you can just see it when you watch this. This is how Coach Izzo likes his point guards to play.
Absolutely, and he's going to have a tall task in taking care of the basketball tonight. Penn State can turn you over. Michigan State has had some issues this year at times taking care of the basketball. That will be important to watch here in this game.
Ace Baldwin over 300 steals in his career, the active Division I steals leader. They'll be matched up a good portion of the night. Jackson Kohler with 8 to shoot. Now Fears to work on a switch with Puff Johnson. The skip tipped into the corner. The shot up and off from Jaden Akins. Offensive rebound. And Akins will penetrate and find Trey Holloman for 3. 2 good looks, neither one going down.
That's going to be the game for Penn State here tonight. Can they keep the Michigan State bigs off the offensive glass? Jackson Kohler, last 2 games, 8 offensive rebounds. You see him with that 9th and 3 here early in that first possession.
Well, on this end of the floor, Michigan State's one of the best defensive rebounding teams in college basketball, and they get the rebound off the miss from Puff Johnson.
Puff Johnson's had a nice year, but that's not been one of his strengths there, shooting it from 3.
It's been a strength for Trey Holloman. 33% on the season, and he drains that one to give the Spartans the early advantage.
Even better for Michigan State. Holloman's 39% from 3 in Big Ten play. These Michigan State jumpers starting to come around.
Ace Baldwin trying to get heated up. His shot won't go with Kohler the rebound.
Well, Jackson Kohler has gotten so much better. Look out.
Oh my, the lob left a little short to Akins.
Akins leads this conference in fast break points per game, so no surprise to see him getting out and running early.
Zach Hicks having to dive on the floor, the tie-up, and the possession arrow keeps it with Penn State. How's he look?
We'll see just how kind of Ace Baldwin moves here. Andy talked about how going to the bench looks okay on that play right there. But the thing is, and I've dealt with a back injury while playing, you know, everything hurts. There's nothing you take for granted just how much your back is working when you're running, jumping, cutting, doing whatever. It's about pain tolerance, and Andy mentioned this as well. Ace Baldwin is tough as anybody that Mike Rhodes has coached. He's going to be out there if possible.
Freddie Dillon with 10 on the shot clock. He'll drive inside. Lost it off his fingertips, and Kohler takes it away.
A good help by Sapawa of coming over there and shutting down that dribble drive.
Here's Fears, tipped out of bounds by Conan Niederhauser. Well, Mike Rhodes, in his 2nd season, he knows this is a tough stretch. 3rd straight game against ranked opponents. They lost at Illinois, and then that close 1-point loss against Oregon at home.
He was very open about talking to his team last night at how this Big Ten season and schedule is about riding the wave. And right now you're going through the toughest stretch you're going to have. You have to weather the storm, and it's going to get better. I think this Penn State roster has been put together in a pretty impressive way. You've got high major transfers across the board. Obviously, you got Baldwin and Kern back. Lot to like here. They turn you over. They make you uncomfortable.
And it's been a hard stretch, but there are ebbs and flows in this season, and a foul called on Puff Johnson. That'll be his first. 1 on Dillon, 1 on Puff. Tom Izzo looking for the first 15-2 start since a 2018-2019 season. A 9-game winning streak coming into play in this one tonight. Here's Jeremy Fears around the Kohler screen. Fears on the drive. He's fouled. To the line he will go. 76% shooter, and Nick Kern with his first.
Well, if you're going to go to the rim here, Kevin, tonight against Penn State's defense, Yannick Conan Niederhauser leads the league in block shots, has been fantastic at protecting the rim this season. Really, for both these teams, you look at Shimon Zapawa, you look at Yannick Conan Niederhauser. Both those guys are great examples of evaluation and identification of guys that fit your program. It's not like they were garnering all conference accolades. They weren't putting up crazy numbers, but they've been able to come in here, play their roles, and make big impacts for these two respective teams.
A little early entry from Zach Hicks. Had that one not gone, there would have been another opportunity. Instead, it does go, and Michigan State with the early advantage at 5-0. Here's Hicks. Inside.
pass.
Oh, my goodness, the feed to Conan Niederhauser, who has his 37th dunk of the year.
Well, Zach Hicks has improved in such a big way. Obviously, he's shooting the ball much better this season from a percentage standpoint, but defensively, playmaking, doing a lot of things for this Penn State Nittany Lions ball club.
In the corner, the three rolls home for Jackson Kohler, just his 5th made three of the year.
Well, Penn State is going to trap these ball screens, so if you handle that initial surge of pressure, you either got that short roll, or if you swing it ahead, you'll have opportunities.
Here's Kern on the drive, challenged at the rim by Zapawa. Quick push ahead, Holloman toeing the line. That three won't go.
A made shot, missed shot, turnover, you name it. You better get back in this game.
Dillon with the no look, but it's tipped out of the hands of Yannick Conan Niederhauser.
Well, Zach Hicks just making something happen. Zapawa helping uphill. And Niederhauser, a guy that can finish in a big-time way. Big, long athlete there. Jackson Kohler, you got that initial surge on the ball. It's the extra pass. Kohler hasn't shot it great from three this year, just 19%, but he gets that one to go.
3 points, 2 rebounds, and a steal already for Kohler, sparking Michigan State to the 8-2 lead, and Dillon off. Offensive rebound for Conan Niederhauser. Now Dillon will drive all the way to the rim for 2.
His three-point shot has started to come along, but that's where Freddie Dillon really wants to get to. His mid-range, get to the rim. Nice dribble drive there. No help coming over. Dillon getting it done.
Oh, what a move. Oh, man. A good challenge at the rim by Conan Niederhauser. Didn't give up on the play. And a bounce ahead. Tough one to handle. And Dillon couldn't pull it in on the bounce from Kern. Here comes Carson Cooper into the game for the first time for Michigan State, the 6'11 junior.
This is a game for Michigan State with Niederhauser on the floor. Shot fakes and those dribble drives might not always be for you, because he is one of the elite rim protectors in this league.
Here's Akins, step back three, rattles off. Cooper with a rebound. Back it goes to Akins. He'll try again. Second time's the charm for 3.
It's clearly been a problem here early on, Kevin, for Penn State of shutting down the defensive glass. You give Michigan State all these chances, they're going to from the three-point line, at least overall. But I guess the one thing that has to really excite Michigan State fans is that with as well as they've scored and as well as they've played, this team is certainly capable of doing more from the three-point line. And we'll kind of see how this unfolds. I think they're going to take more from 2, but they've gotten some pretty good looks from 3 and made them early.
Well, remember how it started last year for Michigan State. Yeah. They were 1 for 20, I think, during the James Madison loss to start the season. They got a lot better as the year went on. I was here for that. Please don't remind Michigan State people that. Good offensive rebound. Conan Niederhauser to the rim.
How did this guy average 7 and 5 at Northern Illinois last year?
Oh, to the other end and a foul.
Now, Penn State not recognizing maybe the urgency needed to get back. And it's one of those things where your coach can preach to you all week long. Hey, on a made shot, missed shot, anything, if we're not sprinting back, they're going to be putting that thing through the basket. But it's a different story when you see it in person and you see just how quickly Michigan State is getting out and going.
DeMarco Dunn into the game. Also Xavier Booker on the floor for Michigan State. Here's Booker at the foul line. And we've got a whistle on an offensive foul. Booker moving on that screen, his first.
They're trying to bring Jace Richardson off that pin down. I don't know if they were saying that Booker's base was too wide or if he was just sliding in there. This will give us a good look. Booker setting the screen. No, he's definitely still kind of sliding in, just hip checks him.
Almost like a Seidel.
Yeah.
If he'd have had a thing of Tic Tacs in his pocket, they'd have heard it. Baldwin on the drive, drops it off in the corner for Puff Johnson. Set up for 3. That's a welcome sight for Puff Johnson, under 29%.
And you have to assume that that's Booker understanding the scouting report, saying, all right, on any dribble drive, we're helping off Puff Johnson and making him prove it.
Holloman down the baseline. There's Cole with a rim. And one more at the line. Even when he's flat-footed, he soars.
Every game you watch of Cohen Carrs, there's going to be a play or two that make you just say, unbelievable. He's just an athlete at the maximum level. Catch that thing, go upstairs. I think there's an argument to be made that Cohen Carr could be the best dunker on the planet. That's an actual player. I'm not saying the pro dunkers, but for people that are playing actual basketball, there aren't many guys that have the highlight reel that Cohen Carr does.
I am here to report, though, that a challenge was offered earlier today at the Breslin Center. Robbie Hummel can still dunk.
There was not a challenge today, but I was happy that happened, though. I didn't know. I didn't know if that was still possible.
Elevated from the free throw line. Remember Jordan soaring, one arm extended?
Right, yes.
That was Robbie Hummel today.
We're going to unplug your microphone again.
What else is new? And a foul on Conan Niederhauser, and that's number 1 on the Penn State big man. Nick Kern on the bench with 2 so far. The only in foul trouble, and to avoid more trouble, Miles Goodman, the 6'11 freshman, will check in.
I've got a lot of respect for Miles Goodman. It's certainly a tough situation with his shoulder. Missed a bunch of games early, and he's been thrown to the fire in Big Ten play, and he's held his own.
Yeah, didn't make his debut till January 2nd with that injury. Jace Richardson will back it up. Jace Richardson, Jeremy Fears. It's been terrific in that backcourt. Carr on the drive, floats that one up and in, a little touch, and it's kind of the evolution of Cohen Carr's game.
Absolutely. I just think that him being able to harness his athleticism this year, whether it's getting straight line drives, offensive rebounds, back cuts, you see him a lot of times catch the ball with a full head of steam already going towards the rim. There's just a lot to like about the progression of Cohen Carr this season.
Ace Baldwin diving to the floor. We'll check on that back. That can't feel good. Deep 3 for Hicks with the shot clock winding, and the rebound Richardson. "28 years Mike Rhodes has been coaching, and as Andy Katz said earlier, he told him that Ace is the toughest he's ever coached. Kohler missing from point blank range, gets his own back. Richardson weaving to the rim, count it, and the foul.
Jace Richardson has been absolutely phenomenal this season, doing a little bit of everything and doing it well. But this dude gets to his left hand. He knows where his bread is buttered. He finds his way, takes that contact on. And here's that play you were talking about, Kevin. Ace Baldwin hitting the deck, and you're right. That cannot feel good for a guy that's nursing a sore back.
Well, there are some injuries, Robbie, that people can't relate to that a basketball player has. You know, maybe they haven't torn their knee. Maybe they haven't had an Achilles or something like that. Almost everybody can relate to back problems.
Yep.
And imagine diving on a hardwood floor 3 days after having back problems keep you out of a basketball.
And with a guy that's 245 pounds falling on top of you in Jackson Kohler.
Very few of us can relate to that. 8-point lead for Michigan State. There's DeMarco Dunn trying to get past Richardson. Ball pops out of his hands, and it's tracked down by Hicks. Attack from Puff Johnson. Underneath, it's scooped up by Dunn. Didn't hit rim. Have to get the shot up. They do. Misses rim again, and Booker finds it.
Some of those shots just not even close for Penn State. Multiple opportunities and nothing doing. Oh my goodness.
Oh my goodness. Dunn on the other end will run it up and in. It's a highlight even if he didn't make the dunk.
Man, no kidding.
Quick ahead. Richardson. Here's Kohler, got the open look. Halfway down, good box out by Hicks. Now the push for Penn State. Dunn. Here's Baldwin. Only one shot attempted tonight for Ace Baldwin. Puff Johnson almost lost it and then threw up the air ball.
Great spacing by Penn State, but this Michigan State defense is swarming.
And Carr fouled as he attacks the rim once more. Well, we're not going to show you too many missed dunks as a highlight.
No,
we will here.
But this thing, I mean, you're almost getting to where his eyes are at the rim. This would have been a heck of a highlight from Cohen Carr, and it would have just been one more to what a tape that already has so many good plays.
There used to be a time where you could get, you know, back when there were such things as DVDs, you could get a DVD of
the mixtape.
The mixtape dunks. Yes. Cohen Carr could have his very own. 1-and-1
I think he would win the NBA dunk contest today. I think he would. I think he's that athletic and that impressive in the air, that powerful.
Well, when your favorite athlete is Dr. J, you're looking for some inspiration in the right spot.
No question.
Especially as a dunker.
Well, he's one of those guys where you'll get to the game early just to watch him go through layup lines, because he puts on a show every game.
Imagine him playing a decade ago when you weren't allowed to dunk in the layup lines.
That would have been a tragedy.
He really would have been.
What we were doing of slapping that square and laying it up. Except he would have been touching the top of the backboard.
And it was a tragedy that we couldn't watch Robbie Hummel dunk in the layup line.
Very tragic.
Had you been at practice today, you could have seen it. Conan Niederhauser spins inside and he traveled one extra step.
There's just not much out there for Penn State right now.
Fourth in the Big Ten in fast break points, third in the Big Ten in transition points, and they're not getting that game going right now.
Well, and certainly you look at the foul numbers right now. Penn State with 8 personal fouls already, still 11:41 to go. Michigan State's knocked down all 6 of their free throws, and Nick Kern 2 quick ones on the bench.
And Shimon Zapawa back out. It's Frankie Fiddler on the floor for the first time. Driving inside. Ball knocked away. Fiddler able to get it back. Drives it to the rim for 2.
Behind the back, pretty impressive there. But you love the fact that Frankie Fiddler just stays with that play, gets to the offensive boards. And maybe that Northwestern game kind of jump-starts his offense.
Well, they'd love to see it happen. He got to the line so much last year in Omaha. Shot the ball 36% from 3, but neither of those have really been going his way this year, especially from 3. Toeing the line for 3, and Dunn hits his first of the night.
Zapawa and NCAAB, they're just kind of locked up down there. I thought that was Penn State's best offensive possession of the night. You get multiple paint touches, you get that dribble drive, and you kick it out. DeMarco Dunn has struggled with that shot. Just 6 points the last 3 games, but he's a guy that can score. He showed that last year.
There's fears to walk it up for Michigan State. Fears.
Look at that
attack. Left it just short, ends it with a rebound.
You don't see Ace Baldwin get beat like that very often. I wonder about his back, but Jeremy Fears, he's got some burst now.
And tipped out of bounds, a turnover. Really poor time for that turnover for Penn State if you're trying to build a little momentum here. 4th Nittany Lion turnover of this first half. Only 1 for Michigan State. Baseline drive. Fiddler with the reverse.
That ball's moving out of the ball screen. It reaches the corner, and Fiddler, just a great drive, shows that athleticism off and uses that rim to shield it from the shot blockers.
Ends it to the rim, and that's his first 2.
A smart play by Enza there. That high hedge is going to be out there, so Enza just slipping it right to the basket.
Fiddler got a great look in transition halfway down, and it popped up. Just 7 of 41 this year from 3. Off the shot fake. Baldwin stripped out of there by Fiddler. Frankie Fiddler, good couple of minutes here.
Good decision there.
Richardson, the open 3. And the long rebound to Aikens. Second chance for Michigan State. Zapawa foul. And now the 9th team foul, and this will be a 1-and-1, and Zapawa just 14 of 25 on the year. But you wouldn't know it on that stroke. The Longwood transfer who began his career at Utah State. Boy, perfect. 2 for 2. That's Michigan State at the line. Perfect. 8 for 8. Dunn lost it on the way in. Fiddler turns and gives to Holloman. trying to shake Dunn. He does. Gets a look at three. A little strong. We've got a whistle underneath and a foul.
Well, that's on Niederhauser.
Yeah.
That would be a big call there.
That's his second. And the 10th team foul. So 2 free throws the rest of the half for Michigan State with 8:41 to play in the half.
You got Niederhauser and Zapawa doing battle here on this block out. Zapawa has good position early on. Boy, that's a tough one for Niederhauser to pick up. You could call that on every play in a Big Ten game.
Yeah, Mike Rhodes would agree with you, I think. He was discussing it with Earl Walton, and that really hampers Penn State in the front court.
He's trying to push him under here. And they're going up for it. Man, that's a tough one for the Nittany Lions.
I mean, the only thing you could really get is maybe the initial push early, but that's not when the whistle came. So Enzo back on the floor. Zapawa good at the line again. 4 for 4. Taking advantage of the foul on Niederhauser, who sits down maybe for the remainder of the half. Penn State 6 turnovers already in this first half. Michigan State has scored 13 points off those turnovers.
There's no doubt that with the way Penn State has struggled shooting it here over these last couple of games, Michigan State is going to be in the gaps and stop and dribble drives just like that. Coming over to help.
As you speak of it, Akins to the other end. Like a shot just right to the rim, and Akins with 2 more and a timeout. Penn State as Michigan State in his voice when he talks to Andy or anybody else.
And when you see the way this team plays, it's certainly a reflection of him.
Yep.
You know, some of the toughness stuff, certainly the philosophies of owning the glass, getting out and running, playing with tempo. Those are things that his teams have done since he started here in the mid-90s. And they kind of got away from that over the last couple of years. They talked about wanting to do it, but they weren't doing it the way that we had seen them do it in the past.
Well, it all starts with that point guard play from Jeremy Fears.
He's been the head of the snake and certainly a very positive leader on a team that has a couple of those types of guys. DeMarco Dunn has given Penn State a real spark offensively here in the first half.
He's got 8, and they've needed every point of it. That 3 gets Penn State back within shouting distance here, 31-23.
Penn State going to a little bit of that 2-3 zone. That really took Oregon out of their rhythm in that second half, got them back into the game, and actually got them a 7-point lead late.
See if Baldwin can keep it going. He'll try the 3 off the fake pass, and there's the most Ace Baldwin-looking play of the night so far.
And that doesn't happen if Enza doesn't slip that to the rim. 2 Spartans go with him, and Ace Baldwin all by himself, top of the key.
And a 5-point game.
The thing, if you're going 2-3, though, Penn State is going to have to find bodies and rebound. It's been a struggle out of man-to-man. They're going to have to really focus on it here in this zone defense.
And Enza with his 2nd straight rebound off the miss. Long pass ahead and too far from Dillion.
It was there. It's just the execution a little bit off by Baldwin. Dillion would have had it on that run out. Enza just is going to slip this thing right to the rim. 2 Spartan defenders will end up going with him. You got Cooper backing up. You got Cohen Carr going with him. There's nobody home for Baldwin.
And Penn State's hit 4 of their last 5 from the floor after a real cold start to get back within 5. You see the numbers for Ace Baldwin in his return to play. But that turnover for Penn State, already 7 first-half turnovers for the Nittany Lions and an unforced error there. Here's Fears. Drive inside to the rim. No, but a foul jam from Carson Cooper. Dillion up ahead in the open floor, running to the other end to answer for 2. And one more with a possibility at the line. Earl Walton telling Tom Izzo to pause for a moment.
Well, this play by Carson Cooper, he just screens Enze there and then follows it on the putback. That's a high-level sequence for Carson Cooper. And then Penn State, they look like the Spartans here. This thing's going through, and they're getting that thing going.
And after the foul on Richardson, a 3-point play, and it's a 4-point game.
Good job by Jeremy Fears of looking up the floor, not messing around with that press, but advancing the basketball.
Here's Fears. No look to Cooper for a two-hand stop.
That's one way to get to the middle of the zone. You should drive it in there yourself and dump it off to Cooper in that dunker spot.
The bench stepping up again for Michigan State. 18 points already off the bench.
It's been an every night occurrence for this team. The fact that they've got 8 different leading scorers, that's incredible.
And only one player averaging in double figures. The only team in the top 25 to have just one double-figure scorer. Here's Hicks, open three. Got a good look. Fears the rebound. On the push, Fears felt that contact and threw it toward the rim. Didn't need that shooting foul. They're already shooting 2 anyway. The second on Dillion as we check in with Andy Katz.
Yeah, guys, I was back by the Penn State locker room. Puff Johnson is in a lot of pain holding that right hand. They've got the doctor and athletic trainer working with him right now. He's in the hallway, but he's definitely in some pain. We'll have to wait and see what happens at halftime. I'll be able to get a chance to talk to Mike Rhodes to see whether or not he can come back for that second half.
That'd be a big loss. Guy who's already got 9 games in double-figure scoring. He had 7 all of last year and one of the most effective shooters in the league from 2-point range.
They didn't have him at Illinois. He was dealing with an injury in that game, and you're right, 69% on the season from 2. That's where he has really made his hay. He has been excellent at slipping to the rim, scoring around the basket, getting out in transition. And he's a guy that has national championship game experience. So you've got a guy that's played at the highest of stages.
Well, scored 11 points, had 6 rebounds in that title game with North Carolina against Kansas. DeMarco Dunn. 6 to shoot. Dillion backs up for 3. A little strong in the rebound to Fears.
It's a high-level defensive possession. Good hedge by Cooper, and then Jace Richardson staying in that play.
Kohler to the rim for 2.
Jackson Kohler has gotten so much better from last year in so many different ways. Getting on the offensive glass, scoring at a higher clip. He's made himself into a player.
How much of his improvement and others comes from the improved play at the point guard spot?
No, I think that certainly comes, he's certainly getting the ball in places where he can take advantage and score. But he's definitely worked on his game, and I think worked on his body as well.
Done. 3 seconds to shoot. Has to launch the deep 3. That's off and out of bounds to Michigan State. The top-ranked Spartans face off with the 10th-ranked Wolverines in a Saturday night hockey showdown. The puck drops at 7:30 Eastern, 4:30 Pacific, only on the Big Ten Network on the Fox Sports app. So back in comes Yannick Koenen-Niederhauser with those 2 fouls. Mike Rhodes trying to get some time before the under 4 media timeout.
You have to think, too, with Puff Johnson, unknown what he's got going on, and then you've got Miles Goodman, freshman. There's just, you can go with NCAAB, but he's not the biggest guy by any means. Niederhauser certainly changes this Penn State defense.
And Richardson got in the air and couldn't get the dribble down in time.
Rolling the dice a little bit with Nick Kern as well, but you can see just the sense of urgency on that closeout by Kern, getting out there, forcing that turnover on Jace Richardson.
Well, if you're Penn State, you thought you had them on the ropes just a little bit in the midst of a comeback, and Michigan State, as they've done all year, sort of a stiff arm away.
They've destroyed teams in this building. They have played at such a high level.
Here's Baldwin, an open 3 for Ace Baldwin, but way off the mark. Ball kicked back, and it'll belong to Penn State. 10 to shoot. On the attack, Kern will back it up. The 3 at the top of the key for Dunn. Kern chases down the rebound, throws it off Xavier Booker. Nick Kern.
The Illini coming into this building, I think Purdue has played much better. I'd probably put them maybe in like a tier 1B right now, but Oregon certainly right there. The top of the league starting to show itself and separate from the pack.
Penn State trying to find an answer after that 4 for 5 stretch. 0 for 5 from the floor. Oh my goodness, Booker exploding to the rim, and Koenen-Niederhauser has it taken out of his hands and out of bounds.
You're getting some extension with these hedges here. Zapawa's gotten burned on that a couple times. Conan Niederhauser, a real athlete, but getting met to the summit by a couple of Spartans sent back.
And then the inbound turned over again. And it's been turnovers that have plagued Penn State, and points off turnovers the difference in this game.
Well, really, Michigan State has been dominant if you look at a box score in this game. You know, points off turnovers, Michigan State 15-5, second chance points 14-4. The Spartans with 10 fast break points already. And we thought maybe Michigan State could have some issues taking care of the basketball, but it's really been Penn State that's had a hard time holding on to it.
Booker with the left hand.
Good soft touch there to just kind of stick in the middle of that zone, find an open area, and Xavier Booker's teammates find him.
And more points off turnovers now for Michigan State. That's 17. Conan Niederhauser inside is fouled by Zapawa. That'll be his first and the 6th team foul on Michigan State. Penn State had it right within their grasp. And now a 7-0 run and a scoring drought of almost 3.5 minutes for Penn State follows. 4-point game blossoms now to an 11-point game before that drought ends on the free throw from Conan Niederhauser.
When Penn State is going to need more from Nick Kern. You know, he's been one of the best 6-man in the league this year. Certainly upped his game scoring without Ace Baldwin on the floor, but foul trouble has taken away his rhythm in this game.
Only one field goal attempt, rather. No free throw attempts, 3 rebounds, nothing doing.
And that's a guy that over the last 3 has averaged 17 points a game. And for him, I guess he's been down 47% from the field for a guy that's shooting 60 on the season. It's not like it's on low volume either. He's taken 139 shots.
Michigan State's hit their last 4 shots on their last 4 trips. Fears. Penetrates.
Is getting to the middle of that zone. Way too easy. Pass, dribble. They're getting whatever they want.
5 for their last 5. On the attack, it's Kern who's fouled. Bodied on his way in by Booker.
Yeah, good luck to Xavier Booker guarding Nick Kern with a full head of steam getting downhill. That's not a matchup that's going to be favorable to Booker.
Second foul on Booker.
Yeah, Penn State not afraid to get after this either. Miscommunication there maybe on who's guarding who. Booker getting there late. Nick Kern making something happen and getting to the foul line.
One-and-one opportunity here for Nick Kern. Coming up at the half, we'll send it to Dave Revson, Rayfeld Davis, and Bruce Weber in our Chicago studios for the halftime report, presented by State Farm. Rayfeld's been cooking up some of that Spartan Kool-Aid that he's been drinking all year.
There's a lot of people drinking that Kool-Aid, and rightfully so. Michigan State has proved it on the floor. They've been terrific.
First miss of the night at the line for Penn State.
See how many different Spartans kind of just flash into the middle of this zone. You can get Fiddler, you can get Akins, you can get Cohen Carr as well.
How effective do you gauge this zone? Not very much over the last 2 minutes.
No, not in this game. It hasn't been. Against Oregon, different story. It really changed that game.
Zapawa challenged inside. Good block. Zach Hicks there. Now on the push, it's Kern right down the middle of the floor. He lost the handle, and Fiddler comes up with it. Bounce ahead to Akins. The lob to Carr. Catch and finish.
That's a really mature play by Cohen Carr to not think I have to make some spectacular highlight play. Instead, I can go up, secure the basketball, and then score it.
Largest lead of the night on the back of that 11-3 run.
That was a big 4-point swing. Missed opportunity by Penn State in the open floor.
Nice bounce to the cutting Baldwin for 2.
Nick Kern and Ace Baldwin have a real chemistry. You watch those two play together, they just find each other.
Both VCU transfers.
Good flash.
And Carr with the short jumper. The rim not kind to Cohen Carr that time.
Tim Brando's going to be collecting feeds from you.
I changed it a little bit, it's how you get around trademark law.
He'll be proud. He'll be proud that you will.
If you want to use movie quotes, but you don't want to pay for those, you say, like, you know, GT phone home or something like that.
Yeah, it's a little different.
Text home, perhaps. Our entire life is spent just trying to skirt copyright law. That's really
about
it. Here's Dunn to track that one down. Spins inside. Dunn stayed under control. He's been really good in this first half.
That's a tough contest by Carson Cooper, and DeMarco Dunn just using that spin and finishing right over the top.
Double figures with 10 in the first half for Dunn. Holloman, his drive contested and knocked away. Now Baldwin doesn't have numbers, but the trailer is done. He's had the hot hand. Kern posting Holloman. Kern spins baseline and is fouled.
It was a heck of a move by Nick Kern. And on the other end, the contest by Enze. Really impressive there on that dribble drive. Here's Kern going to work on Trey Holloman. Boy, there was not much there.
That's a tough foul. Holloman's first. And the 8th team foul will send Kern to the line for 2. He missed his last time at the line. And now he's missed 2 in a row, and you hear the crowd. There's a promotion here called Brickin' for Chicken. The more free throw shots the opposing team misses in a row, the more free chicken McNuggets you get.
I love that this is buildable. Like, it doesn't stop at 2. You can go 3, 4, 5.
Oh, stacking nuggets. What a return for the Izzo. Back, watching basketball, and chowing on free nuggets in a timeout, Michigan State. Well, the Spartans, with some free throw misses, getting their students some chicken, but Michigan State doing a lot of other things well on the fast break.
Well, Michigan State averages 19 fast break points per game, and they're looking to get out. They're looking to play with some tempo. It's certainly been the case here in this game. It's the case every game for this team. 12 fast break points already. Jeremy Fears always looking to push. Those guards running the wings, the bigs running the floor. His rebounding drills and transition defense. Like, it makes for a very long week. And Jeremy Fears has a little bit of that in him as well. He's got that burst, that second gear.
If Kalen Lucas were here, would he say you did a really good job on him?
I didn't guard him. So
okay.
Some of the others maybe.
Oh, you were saying like the general you.
Well,
you have to defend him.
Collective team effort.
Understood.
Get back and everybody stops the basketball.
I thought it was a specific. Robbie Hummel's got it.
Robbie with an R?
Robbie with an R. Hummel with an H. Holloman with an H and a 2. 46-36. Penn State will hold for the final shot of half number 1. Penn State got it to within 4, but Michigan State surging to a double-digit lead. Baldwin, the 3, rims out, rebound, out of bounds to Penn State with 0.8 of a second remaining.
A nice job by Enze, just getting to the front of that rim and keeping that thing alive.
0.8. And that's going to be an anticlimactic end to a first half that saw Michigan State. And it's why you've seen an offense that in this winning streak has scored 77 points per game in 8 of the 9 games. They score in a lot of different ways, and they score a lot right now. They've missed their last 6 from 3 to close the half. We'll see if they can find the range again from deep or if they continue to work it inside. Zapawa trying to get to a back-cutting Kohler, and the ball knocked away, and a turnover for Michigan State.
Penn State's pressure was a factor in that possession. Just nothing there for Michigan State. But the way they were active, pushing that offense out, that's a good start for the Nittany Lions.
Hicks off the shot fake, back to Ace Baldwin. Baldwin Penetrates and gets that one to drop. He's got 9.
Physical drive there by Ace Baldwin, but a little bit of an awkward landing. And when your back is hurting, I think that jarred him a little bit.
Yeah, he was just grimacing. Kind of got lost a little bit on the defensive end, and in the scramble, Kohler's 3 won't go. Good rebound, tipped into the hands of Baldwin. Yeah, he's hurting right now.
Yeah, no doubt. That was just the way he came down. He did not look natural doing it.
Here's Baldwin. Oh, and a slip, too. Hicks working inside. Baldwin off the shot fake, and he's bumped by Holloman. This has been a physical 30 seconds for a man with a bad back. Andy Katz, you had the chance to talk with Aces head coach Mike Rhodes. What'd you find out?
Well, I can just tell you the Penn State coaching staff is very disheartened over Puff Johnson. During the latter part of that first half, he was taken here within the facility for an x-ray on that right hand. He was meeting in the hallway with the Michigan State team doctor. All they will tell me is it's not good. They feel awful for Puff. He's not going to return. No official diagnosis, but clearly you could tell that on the faces of the staff that they were very disheartened by that result. As for this game itself, Mike made clear this first 4 minutes is critical. We can't get punked, and they've got to make sure they do not turn the ball over. So far, for the most part, I would say they are not getting punked here at the beginning of the second half.
And Puff Johnson on the bench right now, in the corner of the bench with that right hand heavily wrapped. Meanwhile, his point guard, Ace Baldwin, on the floor. A painful sequence.
Well, it was just the way he kind of got that contact. Fear's going vertical, so it's not a foul, but he landed, and you could just see the look on his face as he was coming back. He was not feeling comfortable.
Off the inbound, that jumper let go. Yeah, no kidding. And that second bounce got the ball to Penn State.
Got to do that with Kohler, fourth in the Big Ten in offensive rebounds per game.
And then inside, how about Conan Niederhauser? With 2 and a chance for 1 more at the line. The foul on Cooper.
I said it in the first half, Kevin. I'll say it again. This guy averaged 7 and 4 last year at Northern Illinois. He's protected the rim at a high level. Certainly, they go to him here. Early post up, physical with Cooper. Take you to the middle, counter to the baseline, get some contact. Opportunity for 3 for Yannick Conan Niederhauser.
When you wonder who did the scout, you know, when you're going into the portal and you look for that guy, because whoever did an excellent job in identifying what he could become for Penn State.
And same with Zapawa for Michigan State. Both the assistant coaches that went out and identified these players and said, hey, this guy can come in here and help us. Even though his numbers don't jump off the page, they have been productive players for their teams.
Kohler with the air ball. And they're going to say it's tipped. They're going to say a tipped ball.
It looks like DeMarco Dunn had maybe gotten into his view there, but hard to tell because we were right behind the play.
So Puff Johnson shielded by one of the members on the bench. But it'll be Michigan State ball. They said a touch on Dunn.
Kohler. Penn State botched that switch.
Now Fears working against Hicks. 4 to shoot. Fears fading away. And the rebound by DeLeon.
DeLeon's going to go. He's going to put this head down and get to the rim.
Back out it goes to Baldwin, trailing on the play, and he's fouled by Kohler. Second on Kohler, 3rd team foul.
This is going to be that Kohler jump shot here. Ended up actually being DeLeon who was sneaking into the play. Hard to kind of tell if he grazes that elbow or does get a piece of the ball.
But if he does, look like it came before the shot.
Yeah, right.
So the last hand would have been Kohler.
I thought maybe it could be some basketball justice. Now in replay, that's dangerous there.
Yes.
Dangerous game to play.
Dunn catch and shoot. How about DeMarco Dunn tonight? He's got 13, 3 threes, and Penn State's within 2, and a foul on Yannick Conan Niederhauser setting up in the post. An 8-0 start to the second half for Penn State.
DeMarco Dunn was 3 of his last 11 from the field coming in and 0 for his last 3. Great job by Niederhauser, slipping that to the rim, being under control, feeling that help is drawn into the painted area, and spraying that out to Dunn. Dunn was 1 of his last 8 from 3 coming in, but he is cashed out tonight.
Yannick Conan Niederhauser on the bench with 3. Enza comes back on the floor for Penn State.
Enza saved the basket there. That was going to be a wide open jumper for Aggies.
And the first 2 of the second half for Michigan State. They're up 4.
Chase Richardson is making plays at the rim. He's been really good off the bounce. He's been good in pick and roll. Top 40 offensive rating in all of college basketball.
And there's DeMarco Dunn again, Robbie.
He's keeping this offense and this Penn State team in the game.
The second-year Nittany Lion began his career at North Carolina. Here's Fiddler. Fears the teardrop and a foul called on Zach Hicks. That'll be his third.
Five there. Nice Baldwin, just a little pick and roll, and it's with a guard. So Michigan State is looking to switch it. But you see it in the NBA, and you're starting to see it in college. It's kind of like a push and roll where you get your hands on the defender, and you're just gently giving yourself some momentum getting to the rim. It's hard to get underneath when you switch like that, and DeMarco Dunn gets his easiest bucket of the night.
And the 5th assist of the night for Ace Baldwin Jr., who has battled. Clearly not 100% for Penn State, but Baldwin has been out there for a good chunk of this ballgame.
There's not many guys tougher in college basketball than Ace Baldwin, and he is laying that thing all on the line tonight with that bad back.
Hicks leaves, Kern returns. 4-point game in East Lansing. DeLeon turning the corner. Lost the handle on that ball, and it's taken away by Fiddler. Frankie Fiddler gave a couple of good minutes in that first half for the Spartans.
Got to the rim.
He'll drive again to the rim for 2.
That's exactly what he did in the first half. And Frankie Fiddler has done his work, dribble driving and getting all the way to the basket.
We were talking with Tom Izzo at the shooter on the practice before the game today, and he liked the matchup for Fiddler at the 4 in this game. And the 3 for DeMarco Dunn, who liked Dunn from 3.
He likes the matchup too, just coming off that ball screen. There's no one there. Defenders behind DeMarco Dunn. He has been tremendous.
Best game of the season, 18 points and counting for Dunn. Open 3 in the corner. Good find, and Akins gets the roll. Second field goal this half for Michigan State, and Baldwin fouled on his way to the rim. That'll be on Jeremy Fears, his second.
One thing that I will say, Kevin, there haven't been many close games for this team outside of North Carolina, which was played down in Maui. So if it is a close game, the whole go-to guy discussion with a team that's built on balance is a pretty interesting one.
And we don't really know who that guy is at this point. Kern driving inside and gets the 2.
How about the power to jump stop, get through Fiddler there, and still finish at the rim? Nick Kern is having a fantastic year for Penn State.
Just his first made field goal tonight, only his second attempt. Remember that foul trouble in the first half really controlled him.
Got to the line some in the first half, but from the field, what he's been doing. Good flash by Fiddler.
10 to shoot. Here's Fiddler at the top, toes the line. There's the 3, and he puts his hands over his eyes as if to say, where have you been my whole life?
That had to feel good for Fiddler, who has won his last 9 from 3 over the last 6 games.
Well, not only on the year, hit 7.
Everybody that's played this game that shoots threes has been there. And there's no better feeling than when that lid comes off.
Foul on Richardson on the drive by Baldwin. The most genuine reaction of the night after this 3 from Frankie Fiddler.
Well, a good decision by Cohen Carr to get another paint touch with the dribble drive. And you're right, Frankie Fiddler, hands to the sky.
Well, you know he's been in the gym every day, and he hits those shots, and he gets out on the floor. Where are they? Why aren't they going?
And, you know, he's a guy that averaged 20 a game last year at Omaha, shot 36% from 3. So then you come up and you're expecting to replicate those numbers, even though you are coming up a level. And there is nothing more frustrating than being a guy where you're like, man, I'm a good shooter, but I am not shooting it well right now. And you're just trying to find any type of confidence. And for a lot of guys, you see one go down, and it can be game-changing for you.
Well, really the first extended slump of his career, and you could probably all go all the way back to his days at Bellevue West High School in the Omaha metro area. Certainly not at Omaha, where he had 1,500 points in his 3 years with the Mavericks.
You know that area very well.
I do know that area.
The voice of
very
Omaha,
well.
they call you, I believe.
I don't believe they
the
do
Oracle
that. No.
of Omaha, too.
No, that would be Warren Buffett.
Oh, man, I confused you two. I don't know how.
He's a little bit younger. Holloman with that jump stop against the two.
That jump stop way up in the air, but Trey Holloman under control, fundamental.
7-point game. DeMarco Dunn to work. Baldwin from the elbow, and 2 for Baldwin. He's with 13 now.
Does count though. Trey Holloman, pretty good defense, but just better offense on the step back.
Holloman,
Penn State, I don't know if they know what defense they're in right there.
Baldwin trying to save it, and he does. 5-point game. Baldwin chugging up the floor, running stiff. Kern trying to turn the corner on Fiddler. Needs help. He gets it from Hicks. Baldwin.
A good defensive possession there. Good hard hedge, and then Fiddler coming over from that weak side.
Nice pluck by Richardson down the baseline for 2.
You go for the gamble, and you end up getting burned. If you don't get it, Jace Richardson, straight line drive, and nobody home with that help coming over.
7-point game. Baldwin, a stumble in his pocket, picked by Holloman. Holloman on the move.
He was slow playing that, looking for somebody the whole time.
Going against Enza, drops it off inside. Beautiful play. Timeout, Penn State. Michigan State back by 9.
The free throw, part of that is the injured Ace Baldwin. Part of that is saying, hey, we press Michigan State. They already want to play fast. We're not going to just play into their hands. So some of it is game plan, some of it is Baldwin's health.
Here's Dunn with the 3. That one won't go. Got a good look, and he's had the range tonight.
Good rebound there by Jaden Akins. And that's something that I just always think he can do more of with his athleticism and ability to be a factor on the glass on both ends.
4 boards tonight for Akins. He'll look inside. 10 to shoot for Holloman. And the entry to Cole. What a spin. My goodness. Got his own back. Trying to go to work once more. The hook strong, and the rebound tipped out. That's going to be a shot clock violation. Never grazed the rim, and a turnover back to Penn State. A rare
back muscles. In fact, Penn State telling me he's essentially been wearing it nonstop, except for when he's playing. So standing up as much as possible, not sitting down this entire game.
Anybody who's had back problems, unless you have I mean, he could lay down on the hard floor and it would feel good. But he may not get up.
It's a good thing that Penn State's not going to play again until Monday.
Yeah.
Just to get him some rest.
Oh, what a drive, but then a good challenge. Kern gets it back. On the drive, Dunn, the drop off, and the finish by Kern.
DeMarco Dunn, this has been an impressive performance by a guy that's had some real struggles on offense this year.
Booker will try the 3. And the rebound tipped around, ends up with Jace Richardson. Richardson, baseline drive, and it trickles out of bounds. It'll belong to Penn State. How would you grade the day of Ace Baldwin?
Well, he's shown some real toughness. He's scored in double figures, has 13 points, also has 5 assists, certainly has paid the price and gone to the floor a couple times. This has been a physical game, and some of even the landings. He's landed awkwardly, but he's out here gutting it out, and certainly Penn State is better when he's on the floor.
You could see the reaction. The landing in the first half is really the thing that kind of sparked it again. Kern going past Kohler to the rim for 2 more. 5-point game.
He got that matchup, Kevin. Kohler switching that ball screen, and Nick Kern was thinking one thing: get to the rim.
Penn State's hit 8 of their last 10. Booker finds the foul line, much to his liking.
Maybe that gets his jumper going. He has been ice cold from 3. 0 for 13 from 3 coming in.
Baldwin bumped against, splits 2 defenders. The scoop to the rim, and Baldwin hits the deck, and he'll hit the free throw line for a pair after the personal on Jeremy Fears, his 3rd.
A pretty impressive splitting of that pick and roll there. Xavier Booker just getting a little bit removed. If if you give him even a little bit of space, it's actually a pretty good hedge. Ace Baldwin just maneuvering his way through, taking some contact, and again hitting the floor pretty hard.
Baldwin 4 for 4 at the line tonight. How good is Ace Baldwin, the only Division I player active and just the 9th ever to have over 1,500 points, 700 assists, and 300 steals in his career?
Well, and he and Nick Kern have been guys that have set the foundation for this Penn State program under Mike Rhodes. And it's invaluable to have a couple of guys that were able to come in last year and just kind of get everybody on the same page, understand what coach wants. Those two guys have been two of their better players this season.
It's similar to what we saw this year with the Indiana football. Bring in some guys that know what your coach wants to do and establish the base of the program.
Totally. And Baldwin was one of their better players last year, but Kern has taken a huge step forward in year 2.
Holloman, the 3 in the corner. And the rebound tipped toward the baseline where it's scooped up by DeMarco Dunn. Penn State hanging around, 5-point game.
Kern's going to look to back this down. Niederhauser kind of took away his space.
Almost just dropped that one out of bounds. Fortunate to keep the possession. Kern spinning, and a foul called on Holloman. Boy, he had Holloman looking every single direction, and he commits the personal foul. That's his 3rd.
Well, Kern is just initiating so much of that contact. I mean, he's going right at Holloman. Physical driver. You got that contact there behind the back, spin move.
And now the 1-and-1, 7th team foul against Michigan State.
Tom Izzo does not agree.
I think that's the case. Yes. Chatting with Earl Walton about it to express his disagreement in a more personal manner. And more for Kern at the line. 1 for 2 in a 4-point game. 9.5 to go in this one. Michigan State being pushed a little bit in this second half at home. They've had an answer every time tonight.
The middle of the floor has been what's hurt this Penn State zone.
Well, Fears has had very little trouble getting into the middle of that zone.
There's Carson Cooper with the pass.
And Cooper rejected by Conan Niederhauser.
You can see exactly why he leads the conference in blocks. I mean, this dude gives serious rim protection. Carson Cooper with plenty of size, and that thing is put in the bleachers.
Well, he moves so fluidly down there.
Good screen.
Booker muscles it up. And goes Nick Kern. Just 2 for 6 tonight. On the front end, way short. Fiddler with the rebound, his 3rd. Fears lost it out of bounds, and a Michigan State turnover.
Well, Penn State is hanging in here. This does not feel like necessarily a 7-point game.
It certainly doesn't to the veteran head coach on the Michigan State side. But then at halftime, it didn't feel like a 10-point game.
No
so. Here's DeLeon. Shot clock down to 10. Baldwin.
Great pass.
What a find. DeLeon can't get it to go out of his hands. Conan Niederhauser scoops it up. Baldwin's 3, a little strong. He had to shoot. That shot clock winding down, and Cooper will clear it out.
How about the recovery, though, by Fiddler? He got beat on that back cut. DeLeon looked like he could have a layup.
And Aikens with a 3. You're a little flex at the end.
You got him matched up. They just never find Jaden Aikens, who shot it so well these last 7 games, 37% from 3.
And Baldwin working against Fears. The foul. LA.
You think about, like, Tom Izzo has been the head coach here for 30 years, and you look at 348, and you're like, well, I feel like it'd be higher. But then you remember, well, you're only playing 16, 18, or 20 conference games, depending on your year. So really, to be in that conversation with Bob Knight is truly a credit to Tom Izzo and how amazing his career has been.
721 wins all told for Tom Izzo. Carr. Fiddler driving baseline, dropped it off low to Cooper. Hard for the 6'11" big man to go down and get that one. But then Penn State gives it right back, right through the fingertips of Zach Hicks. And another turnover. Michigan State looking for their first 10-game winning streak since 2018 when they won 13 straight. It's the third longest active winning streak in college basketball behind Iowa State and Duke, that 9-game streak that they've got going into tonight. Akins. Here's Fiddler. He'll try a three.
I thought Holloman could have shot that.
Oh, and Fiddler's hurt.
Fiddler go down.
Grabbing his right ankle.
I thought Holloman could have shot that three as soon as he caught it. Made the extra pass. Fiddler has done some solid things offensively tonight. We did see him knock down a three top of the key. Wait, technically that should be a foul.
Yeah, because he came down on the foot of Dillion.
Straight down, and Dillion is coming into his landing space.
Yeah, you have to give the shooter room to land. Now an offensive foul on the inbound. That's Jaden Akins, and that is his first. So now 10 team fouls mean 2 free throws the rest of the way for Penn State. Oh, what a feed inside, and a hammer from Conan Niederhauser.
He took that back screen and just took it right to the rim.
And again, a 6-point game. Penn State keeps creeping close to the mountaintop
here.
Here's Fiddler. Carr. And Fiddler, low pass again.
Jaden Akins to kind of flash in there. A little less size than Cohen Carr, but a little more solid playmaker. Certainly better shooter from that 15-foot range.
Conan Niederhauser trying to back down Cooper. Here's Hicks. Under 10 on the shot clock. Dunn in the paint, steps back in. Tough shot. Rebound Fiddler. He'll outlet to Holloman, and off they go. Long lob to Carr, and it slips through his hands. And Carr slow to get up. And then it goes out of bounds. It'll be Penn State ball, and Carr making it down the floor.
What a missed opportunity by Penn State. Cohen Carr had gone down and really wasn't getting up. You had numbers here. You throw this upstairs. Second missed dunk for Carr of the night. He hits the floor hard. This is that Conan Niederhauser dunk. You just back screen him right through there. No one helping. Niederhauser going up and hanging on rims.
There he is again. Tough ball to catch. He'll work against Cooper.
A lot of space.
And Niederhauser, everything but the bottom of the bucket, and then a foul on Yannick Conan Niederhauser. That's his fourth.
That's just not a very smart play. A frustration foul by Niederhauser. Made a nice move, got to the rim, ended up missing the shot, and then just shoves Carson Cooper.
There's the shove right there. Hard to miss that one. Right in the middle of the floor. 6-point lead for Michigan State.
You got Fiddler operating that middle of the zone. Cooper will flash in there as well. Those guys will tandem in and out. Good decision.
And the open three. No, but Fiddler there for the foul on the foul. Say that 3 times fast.
Well, I will not try, but Frankie Fiddler making something happen. He creates this look by flashing into the high post, sprays it, then just gets to the front of the rim. Penn State not finding a body out of that 2-3. You got the fatigued flex.
Good night for Fiddler. 11 points, 5 rebounds, couple of assists. Can't convert on that free throw. The 92% on the year for a guy who last year made 216 free throws. Ball taken away. Akins with a steal. Akins to the other end with a finger roll. And again, the Spartans provide an answer. Foul on Holloman, fighting through the defender. That's his fourth. Coming up, the doubleheader continues as 17th ranked Purdue clashes with Washington next, only on the Big Ten Network and the Fox Sports app.
I love the effort of Michigan State's defense these last two possessions, and Holloman ends up taking a foul that sends Penn State to the line, but the way they're guarding, the effort they're playing with, pretty impressive stuff.
Well, defend, run, and rebound. One more for Hicks, and now substitutions. Jeremy Fears back on the floor. Shimon Zapawa returns for Michigan State. Yannick Conan-Niederhauser out there with 4 fouls. 4:42 to go, and Mike Rhodes brings his big man back.
This will be a quick break for Jaden Akins right before that media timeout at 4 minutes.
Some foul trouble on both sides. Just the third time this year that 2 Michigan State players have had 4 fouls. Fears and Holloman are the 2. Here's Fiddler. Open 3. Still not quite right from deep. Hicks, the transition 3 falls. And Penn State back within 5.
What a massive shot there by Zach Hicks, a guy who's been pretty quiet tonight, but give Ace Baldwin credit. He felt him running that wing and set the table beautifully.
1 for 4, the first field goal of the night for Hicks. Trying to answer. Fiddler with the follow, count the bucket. Conan-Niederhauser went down hard. It went in either way. Lead in this game for Michigan State. Still getting it done off the bench. Still getting it done second chance points. And that's been the difference in this ball game. A 7-point lead for Michigan State.
Penn State has just kind of hung in. Baldwin now up to 17 points. Also has 7 assists. DeMarco Dunn has been terrific. Conan-Niederhauser in double figures. Frankie Fiddler just making plays out of that zone, getting to the rim in the first half, doing a lot of little things to help this team win.
How about Baldwin on the take, gets hit hard as he drives up. The foul on Zapawa, his second, and Baldwin back to the line for a pair.
Well, Ace Baldwin has been the recipient of quite some body blows here tonight. And then you get the contact from Zapawa, and then you get hit in the floor as well.
I'm not sure which one feels worse on a bad back.
Neither feels good.
One more for Baldwin. He has battled tonight, Robbie. And you look at his stat line and you tip your cap. 18 points, 7 assists, 3 rebounds tonight.
Well, and also gotten to the line. That's his 10th foul shot right there. It's made all 10, but certainly Michigan State has gotten their money's worth. When they fouled him, it's been tough fouls.
A little bit of a press employed there. We've not seen much of that tonight from Penn State. 5-point lead at home for the Spartans. And Fears bumped, and that's number 5. Yannick Conan-Niederhauser fouls out at half court.
Well, a veteran play by Jeremy Fears there of just initiating that contact. Niederhauser's coming out to hard hedge, and Fears is kind of blowing right through this, blowing it up, and there's certainly some contact there. It's just a smart play by Fears.
That is not how Mike Rhodes wanted to see his big man leave. That's not how the big man wanted to go. So Conan-Niederhauser exits with 3:28 to play and 13 points on the board. Seventh team foul, so the 1-and-1 for Fears. Eight points tonight for Fears. And Hicks will start it up. 6-point game. Coming up on 3 to play. Hicks, the 3, up and down. Cuts that lead in half, and it's a 3-point game.
He's had a big-time year shooting the basketball. Has been a little bit sleepy tonight, but he's come alive. The transition 3 and the nice shot fake. Pretty tough shot. Doesn't matter, though, for Zach Hicks.
Here's Fiddler against Enza. Got the big man in the air. Count the bucket and the foul.
The patience on display right there by Frankie Fiddler. You jump stop, you take your time, you show the basketball. Enze leaves his feet. It's a really intelligent play. Double shot fake there, get some contact. Frankie Fiddler has been huge in this game tonight against Penn State.
And the confidence, you can see a little bit of it developing again for Frankie Fiddler.
A lot of the damage that he's done has been at the rim.
Yep. He's got 16 points. Tom Izzo talked about it with us earlier. We mentioned it in the broadcast. He liked that matchup for him at the 4 tonight. Fiddler has rewarded the confidence his coach showed it.
And think about his season. 6 of his first 8 games was in double figures, but over the last 8, only 1 double-figure game.
3 in the corner. DeMarco Dunn, no. Rebound, Akins. Fiddler with a Michigan State high in points to pace the Spartans to this 6-point lead. Here's Fiddler. 4 to shoot. Richardson, 1 to shoot. Tough baseline shot. No, but there's Fiddler crashing the glass again. Hicks quiets the crowd, trying to heat up late, his 3rd 3 of the night. And timeout, Penn State. They've got 1 remaining.
Tom Izzo and Jace Richardson having a conversation. He's guarding Zach Hicks. As that ball's coming towards you, you got to be on a string with Zach Hicks going with him. Hicks 42% from 3 on the year. And on the other end, how about Frankie Fiddler getting to the offensive glass? He's got 4 offensive rebounds tonight to go along with his 18 points.
7 boards in total for Fiddler, having his best night as a Spartan. This was somewhat of a familiar stat line for him in the Summit League, but has not been the case until tonight at Michigan State.
Well, and you mentioned Tom Izzo putting him at the 4. He talked about the comfort that he could have because of how much 4 he played at Omaha last year. Knocks down a triple, has made plays at the rim, has gotten to the offensive glass, has made winning plays for this group. And on a team where it can be anyone's turn on any given night, tonight it's Frankie Fiddler's. He's been terrific.
Well, we asked the question, who was going to be the guy to step up in a close game late? I don't know that many had the answer as Frankie Fiddler, but that's been who it's been tonight for Michigan State.
And I think, you know, going forward, you'll say, well, it's just going to be whoever has the hot hand and we'll ride it. And, you know, it certainly could be Jaden Higgins. It certainly could be Jace Richardson. There's many options. It could be Jeremy Fears. You know, I think it's just whoever's playing the best.
Seconds to play. Michigan State with the 5-point edge. 6 to shoot for Fiddler. Fiddler. Shot fake and leans in.
Everything but.
Yep.
Heck of a move.
Kern now an opportunity for Penn State. They were within 2 early in the second half. But Michigan State had an answer, as they have all night. Baldwin attacks. Foul on Richardson. He thought he got all ball. Instead, he gets his 4th foul.
That looked from our angle like Jace Richardson did just about everything right. Gets beat initially, but stays in this play. Man, that's a lot of ball.
Crowd reacting, as did Jace Richardson. First miss of the night at the line for Baldwin.
Go with the ball, don't lie. There's more on the line now, though.
Chicken. The wrong guy at the line to get bricking for chicken going here in consecutive free throw misses. 4-point game.
This is going to take the game clock down to 28 seconds or so. It's a 2-possession game. You're really not lengthening the game here.
Akins, 3 to shoot. Count it! And the foul! And that may be the cherry on top for the Spartans.
That's the problem. If you give up a bucket, now this lead stretches to potentially 7. Only 29 to play, and Penn State is running out of time.
3rd foul on Enza. And Akins with a chance for one more. He's got 15 tonight. And the 57th 1,000-point score in Michigan State.
Get him involved somehow, because you got to respect his ability to shoot. Penn State has to get to the rim or look for something quick from 3. There you go. There's that slip.
And there's the 3 from Hicks, and it falls. Timeout taken by Penn State. Their final timeout, just as you called it, Robbie. They did it exactly.
It's such a smart action to get him in. End of game. Look at the steal. You got a foul. That Michigan State huddle had to be all about passing, catching, meeting your pass, and certainly understanding your timeout situation.
And there's the foul. Holloman.
So you want to have the ball in there. Richardson in the 80s. So good free throw shooting lineup out there for the number 2 free throw shooting team in the country.
I was going to say, it's one of the best in America. 5-point game, 88 battle as we're about to wrap up here in East Lansing. 89-83. No timeouts for Penn State. Down by 6. Drive baseline. No on the shot. Cooper with the rebound. Gets rid of it quickly, and there's a foul given to Holloman, who will shoot 2 more and try to put this one away for Michigan State. Mike Rhodes wanted a foul on that drive a moment ago. Didn't get the whistle. And Holloman heads to the line for 2.
For Penn State, they've got to stick together here. You know, this is the toughest stretch of your season. You've lost 3 in a row, make that 4 in the next 6 seconds. But the schedule does ease, and you're going to have opportunities. But you've got to stick together. You've got to block out some of that outside noise, because there is negativity when you lose. And with the new Big Ten, there's just going to be some stretches where you're looking at your schedule like, man, where do the wins come from?
Right. Who did we make mad? Here's Kern driving on Fiddler, dumps it off to Enza. He'll put it in for 2. That's academic, though, as Michigan State will inbound. And now